We have an unfortunate story to bring you out of the world of collegiate sports. Mike Peake, a basketball player for the New Mexico State University team, is seen in surveillance footage exchanging gunfire. As a result, Peake would be wounded in the shootout and have several surgeries. Tragically, a University of New Mexico student would pass because of what took place. Here is the latest from police interviews, police statements, and local media. So Peake, who is seen right here, was suspended from the basketball team until the university's investigation was completed. In police interviews, a 17-year-old is alleged to have played a key role in luring Peake to UNM's campus. She expresses regret over her actions to local authorities. During the police interview, she told the cops she first saw Peake in October at the UNM and NMSU rivalry game in Las Cruces, New Mexico. The 17-year-old said, "So ever since then, we've been talking back and forth, and we just like, when he got down here, he said, of course, we wanted to have sex. Yeah, that's what we were going to do." At that football game, on October 15th, the teen said a fight occurred and her friend Brandon Travis wanted payback with Peake. Court docs say Travis Smith, the 17-year-old female, and the third person conspired to lure Peake to the UNM campus and assault him. Another name to keep in mind is this man, UNM student Jonathan Smith. The night she lured Peake to campus, she at first said she didn't know who jumped Peake. The investigator asked, "So you know who were these dudes that pulled up on you?" To which she responded, "No, I don't." That's when the officers tell her they know she's lying. Then she started her story all over again. The incident took place hours before the visiting NMSU Aggies were set to play the UNM Lobos in a game that was canceled. Peake and his teammates were staying in a hotel, and he broke curfew to visit the girl with whom he'd been texting. During that altercation, one of the individuals hit Peake in the leg with a baseball bat, and Travis pointed a gun at Peake. Peake ran away, and court docs say Peake and Travis began firing guns at one another. Smith and the third person ran away shortly after the shooting. They went to a dorm room, changed clothes, and tossed the clothes they wore during the altercation in a sewer. New Mexico State Police say Travis died at the scene of the shooting, and Peake was transported to the hospital. However, after the shooting, Peake is seen on video approaching a yellow Camaro where he meets three of his teammates, Issa Muhammad, Marcellus Avery, and Anthony Roy. Peake is seen putting items into the trunk right before the car drives off. Police arrive after the Camaro drove off. Those three players are pictured here via KOAT. The surveillance video also showed Peake hopping on his right leg and meeting up with the three teammates in the car. The athletic director seen here suspended Peake indefinitely. When police went looking to question the three players, they spoke with head coach Greg Hare of NMSU, who told investigators that he didn't know where the gun was and he needed to check with his AD to see if the players needed to get attorneys. He told the detectives he would get back to them according to the report. Recently, when questioned, this is the head coach, and he responded that he could not comment. He also gave an interview to New Mexico State Police. Agents then interviewed the head coach and associate head coach, Dominique Taylor, who was said to have been responsible for bed checks and for staying in the hotel lobby to monitor possible player violations of a midnight curfew. In a report via KOAT, State Police agent David Escabel wrote that he emphasized to Coach Taylor how important it was to recover the gun and other items that were placed in the trunk. While authorities were still trying to gather info in Albuquerque, the Aggies left for Las Cruces in their team bus. Escabel wrote that, concerned there might be evidence aboard the bus, he sped after it down an interstate with his lights and sirens on. As the detective was trying to catch up with the bus, he received a text from a New Mexico State University police lieutenant who offered to assist. The detective told the campus officer to contact someone on the bus and have them pull over. The campus officer also texted the state police investigator that Coach Taylor had the firearm back at the team's hotel in Albuquerque. The state police agent caught up with the bus at the Fort Craig rest stop and spoke with another assistant coach, Lorenzo Jenkins. He had Peake's tablet, but said he had no idea where his phone was. The coach would not allow the detective to speak to any of the players and said that they told Cartwright they wanted an attorney. When the detective caught up with Taylor at the DoubleTree in Albuquerque, the coach had the gun wrapped in a towel, according to the report. Target 7 has been asking officials at NMSU about the gun for 2 weeks. They have refused to answer any questions about it. They will not say if the actions of their coaches are under investigation. State police say the 17-year-old female was arrested and say she has been booked into the juvenile detention center and is charged with aggravated battery and conspiracy. Smith has been arrested and charged with aggravated battery, conspiracy to commit aggravated battery, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence.